A lot of developments on the Ben Simmons front over the weekend and early on Monday. That's what we're getting into on today's show. But first, what a win for the Philadelphia 76ers on Saturday night in front of the home crowd at the Wells Fargo Center, taking down one of the best teams in the NBA in the Golden State Warriors. And really the highlight from that dub, Matisse Thybulle putting the clamps on Steph Curry. Joel Embiid saying after the game he thinks that he can be a future Defensive Player of the Year. But my question for you is this: do you think Matisse can become a top 5 defender in the association? If so, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and let's start today's show. Welcome into Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. A happy Monday to all of you. Really good weekend for the Philadelphia 76ers, taking down the Golden State Warriors. And the big storyline during that game and after it, it's the wizardry of a defensive performance that Matisse Thybulle put forward on one of the best offensive players that we have ever seen. I'm not kidding when I say this. What Matisse Thybulle did, putting the clamps and defending Steph Curry, one of the best defensive performances that you will ever see in an NBA game. Steph Curry came into this matchup as just an offensive player who was cooking. I'd say he's the front runner for the NBA MVP award. Matisse Thybulle holds him to 18 points on 6 of 20 shooting, 3 of 14 from deep, and Steph Curry was also a -9. In terms of the plus-minus, it is not often that Steph Curry will be in the minus department, but because Thybulle was able to swarm him all day from beyond the arc, and when Steph got inside the arc trying to get to the rack, my goodness, it was so impressive to see what Matisse Thybulle did and his level of stamina and energy that he was able to maintain from the start of that game all the way until the end. Matisse Thybulle, folks, is an all-world defender, and we saw it in flashes last year in that series against the Atlanta Hawks when he kind of did the same thing to Trae Young. But because of some of the rule changes that take away from the offensive player and now cater to the defensive player this year, I think Thybulle's defensive upside absolutely tremendous. And I love what Joel Embiid had to say after that game about Steph Curry trying to overtake Ray Allen for the most three-point makes in the history of the NBA. He was 10 away going into that matchup on Saturday night in front of a national audience, and Embiid said, "That is not happening on my floor. This is my city." I talked to Matisse prior to that game, and we said, we're going to lock down Steph Curry, and he is not going to break that record en route to a win. And that comeback win over the Golden State Warriors for this Philly team, really what the doctor ordered. This is a squad that has had to deal with so many struggles this year on the court and off of it, with a bevy of injuries, a lot of COVID issues. Joel Embiid has really been up and down, but to be able to come back from 15 points against what I believe to be is the best team in the NBA, really impressive win that can help the psyche for the Sixers team. They were able to close that game out strong, and over the last 2 weeks, you've seen the Sixers team work out some of those late game flaws. We're going to continue to cover Philadelphia all throughout the season. I am a fellow Philly cat. We're a little more than 100 subscribers away from 3,000. Got to get to 3K to honor the answer, Allen Iverson. So hit that red subscribe button down below. But first, let me ask you this question. While you're in the comments section, hitting that red sub button, does the win give you confidence in the Sixers moving forward, considering, yeah, this team is pretty solid without a Ben Simmons trade? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Be sure to get those votes in the comments section and subscribe to the channel. Christmas is right around the corner, and I'll actually be flying back from the Chat Sports studios in Dallas, Texas, to Philadelphia to hang out with my friends and family. And I already bought this Sixers hoodie for a couple of my friends. Do the same and either treat yourself or somebody who you care about with this dope Sixers swag. This hoodie was $65, now on sale for $32.50. Only if you use that link down below, thanks to our friends at Fanatics. I hit up Michael Rubin and I said, hey, you're running Fanatics. That's a multi-billion-dollar company. Help us out and let us sell some Sixers merch and get some good deals on that merch. He helped us out. Just use that link down below. It's chatsports.com/76hoodie. That link going to be in the comments section as well as the description of this video. All right, a lot to get to on the Ben Simmons front, and it's all kind of multifaceted. On top of what we discussed on Friday night when I brought you a video from the crib after that report from Adrian Wojnarowski, which indicated that a trade of Ben Simmons could be happening over the next couple of days. On Wednesday, 65% of the league can be traded up to 85% because those players who did sign deals in free agency over the summer are eligible to be traded. So let's kind of summarize everything going on the Ben Simmons front. According to Mark Stein, Ben Simmons would welcome a trade to the San Antonio Spurs. He would like to play for Greg Popovich, and I honestly think it would be a pretty good fit. Also, additional reporting indicating that Luka Doncic would welcome playing with Ben Simmons. I just don't think the Dallas Mavericks have the player assets to make a team-for-team swap. They might have to be included in a 3-team deal, which is kind of what Adrian Wojnarowski had reported on. And on NBA Countdown, prior to that game and that victory against the Dubs, they had a discussion. Not really reporting, but a discussion about trading away Ben Simmons for Kyrie Irving because Simmons and Irving haven't been available to their respective teams, but if they got traded to the Nets and the Sixers, both would help those respective squads. Now, the Nets do have confidence that Kyrie could come back at some point this year because of his vaccination status. He's been going over game film and talking a lot with Kevin Durant, a situation we will continue to monitor. On top of that, Shams Charania with a new report out on The Athletic saying this on Monday morning. 76ers ramping up their efforts to spark multi-team trade scenarios to move Ben Simmons, sources said, and a fresh pool of teams has emerged as potential destinations. As for those potential destinations that have emerged, the New York Knicks, Los Angeles Lakers, Minnesota Timberwolves, Portland Trail Blazers, Sacramento Kings, the Indiana Pacers, Cleveland Cavaliers, all teams showing interest in a Ben Simmons trade. Now, here's the thing with Philadelphia right now. I've been watching this team since I came out the womb. And I understand they've had a lot of playoff shortcomings, especially the last couple of years. And when it comes to playoff shortcomings, I think the Sixers right now are a very good team without the services of Ben Simmons. They can win a lot of games. And when everybody is healthy, when Embiid is playing like an MVP, like he played in that second half against the Warriors after they made some adjustments and he just started to go in with a better performance, the Sixers can win a lot of games. But their ceiling is somewhat limited without another co-star next to Joel Embiid. And I've said this a lot here on the channel. I got to double and triple down on it. Daryl Morey has to do his due diligence and has to do his job of putting the Sixers in a maximized spot where they can make a deep run in the playoffs with Joel Embiid still in his prime. My message to Daryl Morey remains this: take advantage of Joel Embiid's prime years, trade away Ben Simmons to get Embiid some help. As for Dejounte Murray, I think he would be a straight-up great haul for the Philadelphia 76ers. This guy is having a tremendous year. We'll look at his numbers here in a little while. He is a 3-level scorer, a very good passer, and he's done what Ben Simmons has not done. He has worked and put in the craft, gone into the lab to improve his all-around game. I think he is a budding superstar. As for the Dallas Mavericks, they just simply do not have the trade assets to make a team-for-team deal with Ben Simmons. Producer Coop knows that, and he's a diehard Mavericks fan. The Dallas Mavericks would have to get included on the Ben Simmons trade front only if there was a third team involved. As for Kyrie Irving, my goodness, Kyrie is so flaky. I'm not a big flat earther guy. I am a fan of his game, and I love Kyrie Irving, the basketball player. I'm not sure about Kyrie Irving as a personality, as a locker room fit. We're talking about a guy who didn't want to play alongside LeBron James, one of the greatest players ever, because he wanted to be the face of the franchise. He gets traded away from the Cleveland Cavaliers. He goes to the Boston Celtics. The stories out of Boston infamous as far as him just destructing that locker room and some of the wonky things that he's done with the Brooklyn Nets. I just don't know about that. I do know, though, that Kyrie Irving would be a nice fit next to Joel Embiid, and that two-man game could be really, really dangerous, and that is the co-star next to Embiid that makes the Sixers a legit squad in the Eastern Conference. There has been some Shai Gilgeous-Alexander buzz of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He signed that rookie max contract extension, or the early max contract extension along the likes of Trae Young and Luka Doncic over the offseason. And SGA is a phenomenal basketball player. Honestly, he's stride for stride right now with Dejounte Murray, and it might even be kind of a seesaw factor. I love both of those guys, and if you can either get Dejounte Murray or SGA back for Ben Simmons, makes this Sixers team pretty fascinating. As for what Murray has been able to do this year, not great numbers in terms of how he's been shooting from deep. That is not the field goal percentage right there. That is the assist percentage right there. But 18.5 points per game, little more than 8 rebounds, little more than 8 dimes. Solid three-point shooter. That is the steal numbers there is the 1.9, but Dejounte Murray, a phenomenal basketball player. As for Kyrie Irving, we know this guy is one of the best offensive players that we've ever seen, right? Last year, evidence of that. Nearly 27 points per game, 6 assists, little less than 5 rebounds, but you're not relying on him to do that. You want him to put the ball in the hoop, and Kyrie Irving, so crafty with his handle, so crafty in terms of his finishing ability, 40% three-point shooter last year. That would aid some of the Sixers' struggles late in the game because he can create off the bounce and cause some havoc for opposing defenses. So we just talked about a bunch of players who the Sixers could trade Ben Simmons for. Among them and other players who we did not discuss today, who is your favorite Ben Simmons trade target? Give me some names or a name in the comments section. And thanks for watching today's show. Do not forget to subscribe.